Hello everyone, welcome to Planet Geology. My name is Lawrence Kanyan and I am co-founder and educator at Planet Geology. So in this video we will be discussing about geology as an optional for Indian Forest Services examination and what is the pattern of the geology optional paper. This time, because of corona pandemic, both CSE mains examination as well as IFS mains examination, they were both postponed and there is very little time period between the CSE mains and IFS mains. It's just over a month. So there is no time to waste this time around. So you should have a very clear understanding of what the syllabus looks like and what the paper pattern looks like. So in this video, we will discuss a little bit about both. So to start with, as you know, the syllabus of the paper, first of all, you have two papers. Each paper is of 200 marks. So 200 marks each you have for each paper. Uh, there are actually two optional in forest services examination. So we'll be discussing about geology optional here. So again, you have two papers of 200 marks each, and each paper is now divided into two sections. So in total, you have four sections in the paper in over two papers. And the way the syllabus is divided is that you have sort of like they've tried to put three subjects within each section, so that in total, if you have like three subjects in each section, so you have three for each section, so this will give you a total of 12 subjects. Now you may think that you have a total of 12 subjects for the paper, but in reality the number of subjects is more than 12, because what UPSC has done is they have clubbed some subjects together so that they can have in each section three papers. And then when we look at the question paper pattern, so it's sort of like fits into that pattern. That is why they have decided to put three in each section, because that is how they will divide the questions among in the paper. So what you see here is that you have three subjects in section A: general geology, geomorphology and remote sensing, and structural geology. In reality, this subject, geomorphology and remote sensing, it's actually two subjects, not one, but they have clubbed these subjects, that is geomorphology and remote sensing, together in the section A part. Similarly, in section B, you have paleontology, stratigraphy and geology of India, hydrogeology, and engineering geology. Now, paleontology is one subject, stratigraphy and geology of India, you can club it as a single subject, although stratigraphy can also sometimes be thought of as a separate subject, if you are not specifically talking about stratigraphy of India but general stratigraphic principles. And then hydrogeology and engineering geology are definitely two different subjects. So in total, you in section A, in reality you had four subjects. Similarly, in section B you have four subjects, although as per UPSC syllabus there are three in each. Similarly, if you go to paper 2, so in section A of paper 2, what you have in here is that you see here in section A, uh, mineralogy, igneous and metamorphic petrology, sedimentology, and sedimentary rocks. So according to UPSC, again you have let me you have three subjects: mineralogy, igneous and stratigraphy, and sedimentology and sedimentary rocks. Now this igneous and metamorphic petrology can again be thought of as two subjects rather than as a single subject, because considering the amount of syllabus in each of these subjects and how they are taught in BSc courses, these are usually taught as two separate subjects. So here also you have in reality four subjects which you'll need to prepare. Similarly, in section B, you have economic geology, mining geology, geochemistry, and environment geology. Now again here, these two, sometimes actually economic geology and mining geology, for many courses sometimes they are clubbed as a single resource geology or economic geology subject, but here in UPSC they are treated as separately, whereas geochemistry and environmental geology is treated as a single subject, although in reality these again are two different subjects. So geochemistry and environmental geology, they can be considered as two different subjects. So here also you sort of have four subjects, or you can in this case think of it as three subjects also. So in total, if you add this up, this will turn now to be 16 subjects which you will need to prepare. But you need to be aware of this division in the sense that how many you have in here in each section. So for example, for general geology, geomorphology, these three that you have these three subjects in here, this three subject division, because this is how you will prepare for your paper, and this is also how the question paper will be set up. Okay, so for example, in each question that you'll see, you will have a question from each of these subjects. Okay, so for example, in section A paper, except the compulsory question, you will expect that each question will have one question from mineralogy, one question from igneous and metamorphic petrology combined, and then one question from sedimentology. We'll see that in the next slide. Now I have compiled this syllabus for different papers and different sections. I will share the slides and then share the link in the description below. If you want to download syllabus, I will put a link for that also in the slides below. So this we have already seen different subjects for paper 1 section A. For example, it contains general geology, geomorphology, and remote sensing, and structural geology. So the part that you see here is when you go to geomorphology and then remote sensing. So this is the remote sensing part, and one you see here is geomorphology. So general geology is, it'll basically contain introduction to geology, and it will, if you have prepared for geography, general studies, this part will not be very difficult for you. So because there is a lot of overlap with physical geography, and same goes for geomorphology. Okay, and to an extent remote sensing also. So these parts are pretty common between geology and physical geography, so you should not face many difficulties in covering these parts. Structural geology, some of it you would have studied in physical geology, but a lot of this will be new for you guys, so especially those who do not have a background in geology. So structural geology, and then now because time is so little, so you need material which is already prepared, which you can directly go to, because you don't have now time to browse through internet and search for different topics and thinking whether it is the correct answer or not. So you need guidance in relation to that also. So what you need to study in each subject. Now paleontology, you would not have studied it in previously if you don't have background in earth science. You would know probably what fossils are and maybe the geological time scale, but different groups within fossils you need to study. Those who have background in biology, they may, or if you have taken zoology as a second optional, so there'll be overlap with the evolution part, such as evolution of humans, evolution of horse. This you would have studied if you have studied biology in 12th class. And then stratigraphy and geology of India. Again, this if you have had geology as an optional for civil services CS examination, maybe some part of it would have been covered, but a lot of it will be new. And hydrogeology and engineering geology, they are also pretty standard subjects, and will and are important to be covered, and they are actually separate subjects, but as per UPSC syllabus these have to be covered together. Now next we move on to paper 2. So paper 2 again comprises mineralogy, igneous and metamorphic petrology, and sedimentology. Now igneous and metamorphic, so these are the subjects which are, I would say, mineralogy, igneous, metamorphic petrology. These are one of the most difficult subjects within geology, and you need expert guidance to really prepare your answers for these subjects. Sedimentology is somewhat easier. Sedimentology and sedimentary rocks, actually, that is what the UPSC syllabus says. So this is an easy subject, and you will easily find resources for this. But mineralogy, igneous, and metamorphic petrology, these are not easy subjects. But with guidance and with proper answers to previous year questions, you should be able to prepare these subjects also. Next, we move on to economic geology and mining geology. So economic geology, some part of it you may have already covered if you have studied physical geography, that is related to Indian mineral deposits, and some subjects such as, or some national mineral policy, conservation and utilization of minerals. So again, some parts are overlapping with other optionals or general studies part, but this part of metallogenesis or ore genesis, how ores are formed, and then the geological principles behind them, the different tectonic settings, different sedimentary settings, if you're talking about sedimentary ore, so that will be different, and you need to prepare for that. And then you come to mining geology part. So mining geology is more related to exploration and utilization and treatment of ores, so that will be covered in mining geology part, and geochemistry and environmental geology. The environmental geology now, again, it overlaps with general studies and geography optional, but geochemistry is something which you will need to prepare. Coming to overall paper pattern, how questions are asked in the paper. So in total there are 8 questions. So how these 8 questions are divided, I'll tell you guys. So first of all, out of 8 questions, you have to attempt only 5. Okay, so you can leave 3 questions if you are not sure about those. But there is a catch here. So as we have already seen, there are in each paper there are 2 sections. So here also there are 8 questions. They are divided into 2 sections. So you have section A and section B with 4 questions each. Okay, so these 8 questions are divided into section A and section B. Now the first question from these sections is compulsory. So first section you have to cover from section A is compulsory. So that makes question number 1. So that is from first question in section A, and then you have 3 questions after that, and then the first question that is in section B, that is the fifth question. Question number 1 and question number 5, they are compulsory, and these questions they actually include, see here, so these include actually 5 questions of 8 marks each. So in total they are of 40 marks. This is compulsory, and usually these will be questions from all the subjects in section A. So the first question will include subject 8 marks question, 5 8 marks question from all the subjects in section A. Now after that you have these question number 2, 3 and 4. So which are from which you have to choose. So you can choose at least one. So from 2, 3, 4, you have to choose at least one question. Okay, so you cannot attempt. So you see first, okay, let's go back to this flow chart that we see here. So now you see, oops, let me go back. Yes. So now you have chosen out of these. So what you have done is out of these you have chosen. Yes. So let me choose the pen here. Yes. So out of these you have already chosen 2 questions, question number 5 and question number 5, which are compulsory. So you have to attempt in total 5 questions. So 2 you have chosen, so remaining 3. So 3 questions you have to choose from the remaining 6 questions. Okay. But you cannot choose all 3 from a given section. You have to choose at least one question from each section. So one question out of these 3 you will have to choose from section 1. One question you will have to choose from section 2. Question number 5 is compulsory. Question number 1 and question number 5 are compulsory. So this cover 4 questions. Now remaining one question you can choose from these 3 questions within section A, or these 3 questions within section B. So you would have already chosen one. So basically after you choose one of these, you'll be left with 4 questions. From that you'll have to choose one more question. So you have from these 3 questions which you have to choose from the remaining 6 questions. Okay. So let me erase this part. It's actually not 5. So you have chosen 1 and 5. So that leaves 6 questions with you. You have to choose 3. And then these 3, one question has to be from section A and one question has to be from section B. So this is something which you need to be very careful about. Read the instructions very carefully. This is what we have observed in 2019 paper. It may certainly change also, but so it is very important for you to read the instructions. Okay, don't attempt all questions from section A. Okay, and think like I've chosen, okay, compulsory, I've done question 1 and question 5, and then you do 2, 3, 4. No, you have to choose one question at least from each section, even for the part where you have choices with you. So this is overall patterns. We'll look at this is, so this is 2019 question paper. So I will not go into details, technical details of the questions. I just want to discuss the pattern here. So this is first question which we talked about, and this question which is basically compulsory. So you have to attempt this question. And last year you saw that the questions that were asked were from the general geology part. So you had general geology, geomorphology, remote sensing, structural, and again structural. But you know, geomorphology and remote sensing, this is actually a single subject. These are not separate subjects. So you got 2 questions. So what will happen is in this paper you will get 2 questions from uh, from each subject, and that will be 2 plus 2. So you can do that only for two subjects, so that makes 4 questions. Because there are only 5 questions in this section, so one of the subjects will get only one question. So here general geology got only one question, but that will be compensated for as we come to question number 3, 2, 3 and 4. So what will happen in question number 2, what you see here is that these questions are also split subject wise. Now the question that might come to your mind is whether, if you look at question 2, is it from remote sensing, or is it from geomorphology, or is it from general geology, or is it structural geology? Actually, as we had seen initially, that each section includes 3 papers. Okay, so each section includes 3 papers. Now you have question 2, question 3, question 4. Each of these questions have 3 options, A, B and C. And each of these questions will contain, each of these will contain a sub question from each paper. Okay, so this will be from each paper, you will be having a sub question. Okay, so all these subjects will be equally divided between A, B and C. Okay, so it's not that question 2 will be geomorphology, question 3 will be structural geology, question 4 will be general geology. And if that were the case, you can leave your weakest subject, and then maybe if choice comes, you just leave the entire question, but this is not the case. We'll see that in next slide. Yes, so now you see that the first sub question, part A of question 2, 3 and 4 was from general geology. Another thing you notice is that this question is of 15 marks in each of the questions. Okay, so you saw that in question number 1, general geology was just of, there was just one question where there was, whereas there were 2 questions from geomorphology and remote sensing and 2 questions from structural geology. So this is where it is compensated for. So all the questions from general geology are now of 15 marks each. The second question, if you go to now second question, the second question is from remote sensing and geomorphology. You see, 2 of these questions are of 10 mark each and one question is of 15 marks. This is because you got 2 questions from remote sensing and geomorphology in question number 1. Then moving on to next question, that is part C of question 2, 3 and 4. And then part C is structural geology question. Here you see that you have 2 questions of 15 marks each and one question of 10 marks. So what you get in structural geology is that again, whereas you saw that the general geology all questions were of 15 marks, here you see 15, 15 and 10 because you got 2 questions from structural geology in question number 1. So this is how section A looks. Section B and paper 1 section B looks something very similar. So in terms of subjects, so here also the question number 5, which is compulsory, it includes parts from all subjects. So there are 2 from paleontology in this paper, 1 from Indian stratigraphy, and 2 from hydrogeology and engineering geology. So when you come to questions where you have choice, so the first question that you see in this paper is from Indian stratigraphy, all these questions. The next question that you see is from paleontology, part B. So these Indian stratigraphy, if you look at Indian stratigraphy questions, so it is of 15 mark each in each of the questions. So you saw that in question number 1, so if you go to question number 1, there was just from Indian stratigraphy you got just one question, so that is compensated for by giving like 15 marks question or in the questions where you have choice. So 15 mark parts in the questions where you have choice. Next we go to paleontology. So it's 10, 15, 15 again because you got 2 questions in paper 1, so you'll have this one question which is of 10 marks in this part. And then you go to part C of each question, that is from engineering geology and hydrogeology, and now this is 15, 10, 10. So in the questions where you have choice, so the 3 parts, one subject will be 15, 15, 15 marks in each question. Another subject will be 15, 15, 10, and the third subject will be 15, 10, 10. So there is one subject which has lowest weightage generally, but it does not vary much. It varies just by 5 marks in the entire paper. Then similarly for paper 2, which comprises igneous mineralogy, igneous and meta sedimentology, mineralogy and igneous, again igneous and metamorphic petrology. So you see similar pattern. So sedimentology, you again get 3 questions, first question each. So this is now slightly different in this case, that from sedimentology, although you had only one question in paper sorry, only one question or only one part in question number 1, but here it's 15 15 10 only in this case. So again, slight variation from the pattern that you saw in paper 1. Again, igneous and metamorphic petrology, it's 15 10 15 again. Part B, part C of each question, that is again 15 15 10. This is from mineralogy. So in total, if you look at sorry, igneous and metamorphic, I think this part B is again 15 10 15. Let me check again. Part 1 was 15 15 10 15 10. Yes, so each paper in this case, so in the paper, in paper 1, what we saw was one paper had 15 15 15 15 15 10, and then that left the last question with 15 10 10. Here every subject gets 15 15 10 in the questions 2 3 and 4, where you have choice. Now coming to paper, it should say paper not 2A, but rather it is paper 2B. So here it should be corrected as paper 2B. And what you have in this paper is, again, you have economic geology, mining geology, geochemistry and environmental geology. And again, you see similar division here, 15 15 10 for economic geology. And then you have part B from geochemistry and environmental geology. Again, 15 10 15. And then finally, you see mining geology questions, again 15 15 10. So you see, sort of see what the pattern looks like. So in each section, you have 3 subjects. Each subject is appears once in each of the parts of a question where you have choice, and it you have to attempt all the questions from question number 1 and question number 5 in each part. So this is the overall pattern of the paper. So in this so this is again sort of like the conclusion section. What is the overall pattern that you see for this paper? So the paper is very evenly distributed across various subjects. Again, when you're preparing, it's not that you can leave any of the subjects and then just not attempt it. Instead of leaving a subject entirely, what I would recommend you doing is that go through all the subjects. Maybe don't go too deep into a particular subject. So sometimes what students can do is they will pick up sedimentology and they will do a PhD in sedimentology, and they will leave igneous and metamorphic petrology. So that is not recommended. Instead of going into deep in one subject, what you need to do is first you need to cover all the subjects, cover all the syllabus, so that even if you don't know a particular question, you can leave that question, but you'll definitely find some questions where you will know answers to all 3 parts. No part is more or less important than another. Then you should prepare when you're preparing. You should have syllabus in hand. You cannot open a book and start reading a book without looking at the syllabus. Okay, and the best thing is that you can do is that you go to, you need some resource where you can find study material, video lectures, and let's say solutions to previous year papers, all of that in one place. So that will be very important for you for your preparation, especially this year where there is so little time. Now that can be an opportunity for some guys also, okay, because not everyone will be able to prepare during this time period. So you need to utilize this. This is actually a very good chance. If you do well in optional, you have a very good chance of making it through forest services. It is very important to solve previous year papers. So if you do analysis of that, you will find that a lot of stuff is repeated. But again, I've seen people who went to interview stage in previous years, and then next year they came and they said like, oh, this year my paper went amazing. I will definitely get an interview call, and maybe I'll get a good rank also. And then they didn't even they didn't even qualify the mains examination. They didn't even get interview call. This can happen because understanding previous year papers, what questions are coming, that is one thing. But what do you want to write in those answers? Okay, everyone will prepare answer for different types of plate boundaries. That question appears again and again in the paper. But what do you write in that answer that will differentiate your answers from those of other people? Everyone is going to write about convergent, divergent plate boundaries. But how many people will write about the type of magma that you can see in different tectonic settings? So that is something which you need to be aware of, and you need some guidance in that regard, how you can write good answers, or you can write some points in those questions. So, and especially if your preparation is good, sometimes easy paper comes, and then everyone writes, even those who have not prepared well. So that is why you need to have that edge, and then you need to write good answers for that. Again, paper is usually not very difficult. Sometimes it does come when it is difficult. For example, in 2017 it was slightly more difficult. 2019 paper was pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And I found like actually easy papers can sometimes be more difficult, in the sense that it's difficult for you to differentiate yourself from other people. So with this, I will end this session. And if you have any questions for me, or for any of our team members, you can please post the questions in the description, in the comments below, and we'll try to address those. And if you want to check out Planet Geology website and the resources that we have available for preparation, please click on the link given in the description below. And if you want to keep getting updates on latest exam related material, and so please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can click on the bell icon, so that whenever we upload a video, you get a notification in your on your inbox, or on YouTube. And that way you can stay updated with the latest examination trends. So bye for now, and see you again in the next video.